The history of social media. Today, social media is a term that everyone knows. Even the most remote areas of the world have at least heard of Facebook and Twitter, and are probably using them on a regular basis. But it wasn't always that way. The first social media was a website called 6 Degrees. 6 Degrees allowed users to create a profile and then friend other users. By the year 2000, around 100 million people had access to the internet, and it became quite common for people to be engaged socially online. Back in the early 2000s, the website MySpace was the popular place to set up a profile and make friends. MySpace was the original social media profile website, leading into an inspiring websites like Facebook. In 2004, Mark Zuckerberg launched what would soon become the social media giant that would set the bar for all other social media services. However, back in 2004, Facebook was launched just for Harvard students. Zuckerberg saw the potential and released the service to the world. In 2006, the popularity of text messaging or SMS inspired Jack Dorsey, Biz Stone, Noah Glass and Evan Williams to create Twitter, a service that had the unique distinction of allowing users to send tweets of 140 characters or less. Today, Twitter has over 500 million users. Although it is impossible to know what the future of social media holds, it is clear that it will continue. So, what's your favorite social media platform? Describe it.
Let me show you some interesting statistics on social media use from statista.com as of July 2020. The first statistics is about the global digital population, wherein it says that the active internet users is 4.57 billion, unique mobile internet users 4.17 billion, active social media users 3.96 billion, active mobile social media users 3.91 billion. Next thing to it is the most popular social networks worldwide, ranked by number of active users. First on the rank is Facebook with 2.6 billion, YouTube with 2 billion, same as WhatsApp, and then Facebook Messenger 1.3 billion, Wixin and WeChat 1.2 billion, Instagram 1.1 billion, and TikTok 800 million. But that is as of July 2020. Most popular social networks worldwide, ranked by reach or active usage penetration. Facebook still lead the way with 63%, YouTube 61%, WhatsApp 48%, Facebook Messenger 38%, Instagram 36%, Twitter 23%, and then we have Snapchat with 13%. Since ang Facebook ang nanguna when it comes to usage penetration, and it also first when it comes to number of active users, let's see kung saang countries merong pinakamadaming Facebook users. And it is India, with 290 million Facebook users. United States, 190 million users. Indonesia, 140 million. Brazil, 130 million. Mexico, 89 million. Philippines, 76 million out of 109,581,078 people. Then Vietnam, 64 million. Thailand, 50 million. Egypt, 42 million. And Bangladesh, 38 million. Now, why are we using social media? In a 2017 report by the Global Web Index, around 42% of people use social media platforms to stay in touch with what their friends are doing, while 39% said they want to stay up to date with news and current events. The other top reasons for using social media are filling up spare time, general networking with other people, looking for entertaining content, sharing photos or videos, sharing one's opinion, meeting new people, and researching or finding out products to buy. Back then, kada isang reason dito ay merong kanyang side. Pero dahil sa development na ginagawa ng mga nag-launch or ng developer ng social medias, it now came into one place. Just like Facebook, na dati wala naman siyang marketplace, pero ngayon meron na. And even the Facebook groups or Facebook pages na nag-offer ng different products. It is a development caused by the demand set by the users of Facebook. We will talk about responsible use of social media. For social media has grown in popularity over the years, with hundreds of options for sharing your thoughts, photos, and videos, and for interacting with friends and family. The more it grows, the more we discover about the do's and don'ts of social media. The same rule applies to all social media playgrounds, regardless of which site is your favorite. There are some practices for engaging in responsible social media use and best practices for social site etiquette, because we all have a social responsibility. Let's outline some of these best practices for social media sites. 1. You may not agree with everything or everyone you encounter on social media networks, but treat each other with dignity and respect. The golden rule of treating others how you want to be treated is a good practice. You don't want to be cursed by someone else on Facebook, especially if that is a stranger. Then why are you cursing others as well? If they curse on you, don't curse back, because once you do so, you're only showing them who you are. Because whatever you say, whatever you do in social media will reflect who you are. Hindi kung sino yun sila. Kahit paano yung sabihin mong words against them, or kahit paano yung sabihin mong paninira against them, still, it will say something about you. There's nothing wrong with ignoring battles, especially if that battle is not worth fighting for. So the rule again is treat everyone or every person with dignity and respect. Do not turn to social media as a way to harass, demean, or bully someone else. Sitting in front of a computer screen does not give you license to embarrass, intimidate, or spread hurtful rumors about others. In social media, pwede kayong mag-post kahit hindi totoo. Sa social media, pwede kayong mag-lay ng inyong opinion kahit bias ito. So if you are going to judge a particular scenario or a particular issue, make sure to it that you will consider both sides, that you will know both sides. Hindi yung magko-comment ka lang just for the sake na meron kang na-comment. It doesn't go that way. Kahit pagano ka-unpleasant yung tao for you, still, it doesn't give you the license to bully them. Don't normalize bullying. Attack the topic, not the person. Kasi yun yung nangyayari ngayon. Na hindi na yung topic yung ina-address. Yung tao na mismo. Which is not a good thing. You can run all you want, but always be humane. Number 3, regardless of your privacy settings, keep in mind that anything can possibly be seen by anyone at any time, even by that person that you did not want to say it. Pause before you post, think before you click. What if nag-post ka ng isang hatred speech about someone else, and then hindi mo alam, isa sa mga friends mo ay friend din niya. So nag-screenshot siya ng iyong hatred speech, tapos sinend sa tao. Kahit na ang gusto mo lang naman gawin for posting such ay mailabas yun sa loobin mo. At hindi mo naman ginugustong makarating yun sa kanya. Pero again, dahil social media yan, may makakikita at makakakita dyan. So be careful in whatever you are posting, in whatever you are commenting or sharing on social media. Whether you're concerned with maintaining good friendships or future job prospects, Be responsible in what you post and how it could affect your reputation. Many employers now check up on job candidates' social media account for evidence of bad behavior. What if yung job posting ay sabi, kinakailangan with pleasing personality? So, dapat meron kang good character traits. At hinighlight mo sa yung resume or sa yung application letter that you respect women, that you respect equality and everyone. Pero, nung chinek ng employer yung iyong profile, nakita niya that you are objectifying women. So, nasan yung pag-respect doon? You are claiming that you respect women, yet you objectify them. Once na in-objectify mo yung isang tao, it is a form of disrespect. So, don't claim such thing kung hindi mo naman kayang panindigan. Another example, women objectifying men, yet they scream for respect. Actually, respect should be given even without asking for it. If you are a respectful person, you will do such. Same thing goes with women. Kung saan sinasabi niya she is for equality, yet she cannot stand for it. For example, back then, madaming mga issues na nagsusulputan kung saan isang babae nakatayo sa isang public transportation, hindi pinaupo kahit ng isang lalaki. Nagtulog-tulugan or some other reasons. In that scenario, you are not asking for equality. You are asking for a favor, is something for your advantage. Kung equality ang hinihingi mo, fair lang na makuha niya yung seat na yan kasi he paid for it. At ikaw, since nahuli kang dumating, fair lang din naman siguro na maghintay ka ng chance mo para makaupo. Hindi yun sasabihin mo na, babae ako, kinakailangan ako yung nakaupo. Again, equality. Hindi equality yung sinasabi mo na, babae ka, kaya kailangan kang paupuin. Because if you are thinking such, you want to be put in a pedestal. You want everything on your advantage, which is not correct. Question. Why are you posting in social media? Because social media have become a very powerful communication tool and platform in the new era of technology and globalization. In the early beginnings of social media, the usual reaction would be I have ideas or feelings and I can share this to the world through social media as a platform. Today, most users would claim I have access to social media, so I have to have an idea. I have to have a feeling or emotion that I can share with the world. This attitude has led to the proliferation of fabricated or exaggerated emotions with the hope of getting many likes or receiving many comments with what have become the norm for social acceptance. Hindi lang din siya sa emotions na nagpa-fabricate natin. Even the wisdom and knowledge, we tend to believe that we are knowledgeable in a certain topic kahit hindi naman. Dahil na-feed yung ego natin through the likes and comments that we receive. Pero why are we doing so? It's said that it is for social acceptance, for social affirmation. So we are in the constant search for acceptance. Why? Kasi tayo mismo hindi natin matanggap yung sarili natin. Or we crave for attention. If you want to be accepted in a society, if you want to be accepted, ang ginagawa ng iba, they will do things na sa tingin nila tama sa paningin ng iba, na sa tingin na trend, na uso. So susunod lang sila sa uso kasi yun ang accepted. At for you to be accepted in that society, kinakailangan gawin mo din yun, which is not right. There's nothing wrong with being yourself. Kasi once na mag-fail yung social acceptance na yun, yung social affirmation na yun, you'll find yourself into pieces. Accept yourself first. Kasi kahit mawala yung social acceptance na yun, yung social affirmation na yun, if you accept yourself, you will still be whole. So accept yourself as you are. Don't let the society do it for you. Ang kalimitang victims dito ay yung mga cloud chasers and some influencers na ginagawa lang nila yung mga bagay na pinopost nila for the sake of likes, for the sake of acceptance, kasi gusto nila yung pakiramdam ng merong nare-receive nila once may mag-comment about something good about them. Pero, are they really happy about it? That's the question to answer for you. And right now, we can see in different social media platforms, prime language is English. But what does it mean by new media? Or what do we mean by new media? Na kinakailangan siyang i-link sa English language. When we say new media, it refers to the highly interactive digital technology. These are very easily processed, stored, transformed, retrieved, and hyperlinked, search for, and access. And we have different classifications, such as blogs and vlogs, social media, online newspaper, virtual reality, and computer games. So itong new media na to, it means that it is the platform. Whereas, the language in new media is sometimes referred to as computer-mediated communication or the CMC, though it may also be called as any of the following: net speak, computer-mediated discourse, digital discourse, electronic discourse, e-communication, digitally mediated communication, and keyboard-to-screen communication. The internet is the largest area of language development we have seen in our lifetime. And there are only two certain things in here. It's not going away, and it is getting larger. Hence, we must be prepared for its inevitable expansion. Digital discourse illuminates social and cultural processes, which is under the domain of socio-cultural linguistics. The primary concern is not with abstract grammatical linguistics, but rather the everyday functions and uses of language. Thus, we can describe computer-mediated discourse or computer-mediated communication the following: vernacular, interpersonal, spontaneous, and dialogical. Let's discuss each characteristic. Vernacular. It uses language that is common to people, regardless of age, social class, gender, or race. Take note, common means that ginagamit siya by all people regardless of age, gender, social class, or race. So, walang entitlement when it comes to CMC. For example, sa acronyms, we have LOL and YOLO. So, itong mga acronyms na to, hindi naman siya nakadesign for a particular person lang. Pwede itong gamitin ng lahat ng tao. Initialisms, another example, ATM, IDK, JK, BTS. ATM at the moment, IDK, I don't know, HBT, happy birthday, JK, just kidding, BTS, behind the scene. Itong mga initialisms na to can be used by anyone. Don't be so entitled when it comes to usage of such. Just like emoticons and emojis. Purple heart, blue heart, pink heart, stars, ay hindi din na-create or hindi din to ginawa for a particular group. So don't claim na ang purple heart ay para sa armies lang. Next, expressive punctuations when it comes to speech or when it comes to text. Most of the time, some people tend to put at least 3 punctuation marks when it comes to saying hello or happy birthday. Bakit po ba natin ginagawa yon? Isa sa mga reason ay to intensify the message. Kasi nagpapakita siya ng inyong excitement. It intensifies the emotion on your statement whenever you are using more than 1 punctuation mark. Now we have here misspellings and respellings. Na nangyayari due to the usage of CMC or due to CMC being vernacular. Misspelling, that means that you are spelling out a certain word incorrectly. Respelling naman, you are creating another spelling for a certain word out of the constraints of purpose, audience, message production, which is for economy or text entry reduction. Just like tomorrow, instead of typing in the full spelling of tomorrow, you'll be reducing the spelling into 2MRW. As well as U, na letter lang yung gagamitin instead of YOU. Tonight, at 2NYT. So, these spellings often na nadadala natin when it comes to formal writing, which is not a good sign. Because it means that you are mingling the new media with that is supposed to be formal. I have seen many activities by students wherein they are using U, the letter U, instead of YOU whenever they are pertaining to the pronoun. Apart from that, when it comes to capitalization, most students are using the lowercase I instead of the uppercase I. Dahil nagkaroon sila ng confusion when it comes to the proper writing of words or proper capitalization. Take note that pronoun I should always be capitalized. Next, interpersonal. It is relationship focused rather than subject oriented. This can be explained by the number of group chats a person has and the number of individuals and GCs a person engages simultaneously. That means na hindi kayo nilimit lang para sa isang tao, isang group chat. Kasi you can create as many group chats as you want. Just like, meron na kayong GC na pang buong klase, pero meron pa kayong GC na kayong 5 lang magkakabarkada at magkakaklase. Bakit? Kasi meron kayong mga pinag-uusapan sa GC na pang klase at meron kayong pinag-uusapan na hindi pwedeng pag-usapan sa GC na pang kayo lang. In that sense, we can say na ang new media ay relationship focused because it allows you to connect with a number of individuals na pinipili ninyo. The interpersonal nature of CMC is characterized by the following: turn-taking, topic development, back channels, and repairs. It's also linked to our next characteristic, which is spontaneity or spontaneous. It is usually unplanned, unstructured, and sometimes impulsive. This spontaneity also gave rise to the neologisms through lexical creativity, such as the use of B for N and F to F, or such terms as trolls, meme, hashtag, and meme. This can be described as mediatized stylization and popular representation. Let's take for example hashtag. Ang hashtag, gagamitin nyo lang yun kapag ang pinag-uusapan ay nasa context ng Twitter. Kasi tinawag ng hashtag yung symbol in Twitter dahil yung symbol alone is called as hash. And tag, kinambay ito sa tag dahil ginagamit ang hash in tagging topics or in tagging relevant topics or in tagging tweets. Kaya siya naging hashtag. If you will be asked kung anong tawag dun sa symbol, it is hash outside the context of Twitter. But inside the context of Twitter, it is hashtag. Back then, ang meme naman hindi siya ginagamit to pretend to something funny. When we say meme, It is actually an idea or behavior, style, or usage that spreads from person to person within a culture. So yung meme, hindi siya nangahulugan kagad na funny. Kasi it can be something amusing or interesting as long as it is widely used. Next is dialogical. It carries expectation of continuous exchange. This is why most media platforms have a reply or comment option, while some have a leave a comment button to ensure continuous interaction. The English language in the new media is brief, multimodal, and ideological. The reason for having reply or comment option as well as leave a comment button in certain new media is for the continuous interaction. Kasi kung walang reply, hindi magka-carry on yung interaction or hindi magka-carry on yung communication. It is said na ang English language in the new media is brief, multimodal, and ideological. So in here, we have a screenshot about average number of words per chapter in Wattpad. This means that most readers of Wattpad can accommodate less than 1,000 words per chapter. That's around 4 pages or less. Anything beyond that is considered very long already. Usual scenario kasi sa mga nagbabasa ng Wattpad, babasahin nila yung isang chapter kasi sa tingin nila maikli lang naman. So, tapusin ko lang ito isang chapter, maikli lang naman. And then, they carry that thinking into the next chapter. Kasi nga naiklian or nabitin sila dun sa nabasa nila sa isang chapter. So, babasa ko sila ng another chapter hanggang sa natapos nila yung isang story ng paunti-unti. And that is the objective of each side, to keep you on their media or to keep you on using their site. So, nag-succeed sila sa pagpapatapos sa inyo ng story, sa pag-keep sa inyo within the site dahil sa paggamit ng 500 to 1,000 words. Another example. So here, Metro to meet read Hitman hires Hitman who hires Hitman who hires Hitman who hires Hitman. Inquirer.net to meet read Rafi Tulfo invites Barata sisters on his program to resolve feud. Both articles found in social media have a time element to meet read, spelled in capital letters for easier access. This means that they want readers to read the article because it's just 2 minutes. It won't take much time. That is a psychological conditioning suggesting that most readers want brief materials, thus making brevity a characteristic of language in the new media. Then we have here multimodal, or the multimodality when it comes to social media. When we say multimodality, it refers to like layering of different media. We all know that words are only ever part of the picture. All text, all communicative events are always achieved by means of multiple semiotic resources, even text-based new media like instant and text messaging. These screenshots are examples of multimodality in language use. Text alone might not catch that much attention, so a combination of purposefully designed text, photo, and or video are a staple in new media to make it interactive. For example, you see a post with mere text. So, mas malaking possibility na i-skip mo na lang to kaya sa isang post na merong picture or video. Same thing goes with seeing a picture alone without a caption. That means na ang picture or ang image, ang video, goes hand in hand with text or the caption for you to catch more attention or for you to catch much attention. Ideologically motivated. New media is inherently ideological especially in terms of their political economies of access and control. They are used to control people, and they are used to resist control. This is quite apparent, most especially through the symbolic power of the news and broadcast media. So in broadcast media, ang kalimitang maipapalabas dyan, kung ano yung highlight. So, kinakailangan mo lang na iparating sa broadcast media that you are the highlight for you to manipulate. Kaya nga ginagamit din ang broadcast media when it comes to campaign advertisements. Kasi kung sino yung kilala ng tao, sila yung mas malaki yung possibility na maiboto. So if you are a voter already, make sure to it na kikilalanin nyo muna kung sino yung mga iboboto ninyo. Hindi lang dahil sa siya yung nakikita ko lagi sa social media, siya yung lagi ko nakikita sa mga palatastas sa TV. Ito yung iboboto ko. Read the background of each candidate. Language is not simply a way of communicating, but a powerful resource for representing or manipulating its users, especially the young people, the so-called digital natives. Social media is an echo chamber. That means kung ano yung kalimitang na-i-interact ninyo na post, yun yung din about din doon ang magpapakita sa timeline ninyo. And it is a way to manipulate you. Bakit po? Kasi ang kalimitang nangyayari, kung anong nakikita natin, yun ang pinaniniwalaan. So kung anong i-feed sa inyo, kung anong i-feed sa users na balita, paniniwalaan nila yun. Or kung ano yung i-feed na information, yun ang paniniwalaan. Kasi yun ang nakikita nila. Again, you need to evaluate. Baka kasi hindi ito totoo. Baka ito ay fake news lang. Apart from that, it also feeds your ego na tama yung ginagawa mo. Dahil madami kang nakikita na same experiences or tama naman to kasi ito din yung ginagawa ng iba. Kasi madami namang gumagawa without thinking na kaya mo naman nakikita yung mga postings na yun dahil ginagawa mo din yung bagay na yun. Pero in reality, it is not correct. Dahil ang nakikita mo lang talaga ay kung sino yung katulad mo ng pag-iisip. None of this is especially new. Every generation likes to complain about the next generation's communication practices. This is an important context in which language can be seen taking place in and around new media and how it continues to evolve with every new technological revolution taking place. Yung mga discourse with regards to the previous generation's communication practices and today's communication practices is actually a good sign na ang ating language ay evolving. It is a good sign na tayo ay aware sa changes. Kasi yun ang isa sa characteristics ng language. Language is dynamic. It will change from time to time. Question: does the language we use dictate the language of new media, or do media shape the language that we use? What we are using or the language that we are using technically dictate the language of the new media. Kasi hindi naman magkakaroon yan ng language na ganun kung hindi natin ginagamit in our day-to-day living. Para naman din sa the new media shape the language that we use, magiging possible lang to kapag yung isang tao ay ina-adapt niya yung mga words na nakuha niya from the new media. For example, idol, JGWP, outskege. These words are being used by different people. Pero yung iba sa kanila, hindi talaga alam yung tunay na meaning nun. Pero bakit nila ginamit? Kasi uso. Kasi ginagamit ng nakakarami. In that sense, new media is shaping the language you use. Another question, are we using new media or are new media using us? Ideally, it should be the new media that we are using because it is a tool. It is an instrument for communication. So, dapat hindi tayo nagpapagamit sa new media. But, meron pa ding mga tao na nagagamit ng new media. Paano po nangyayari yun? If they always ride the tide, hindi nila namamalayan na ginagamit na sila ng new media, ginagamit na sila ng society. So, learn to decipher kung ano yung tama sa mali, kung ano yung totoo sa hindi, para hindi kayo magamit ng new media. It should be us using the new media. Dahil hindi namang masamang bagay ang pagka-invento ng new media. Nagiging masama lang to dahil sa paggamit. So, upon knowing new media, upon knowing CMC or the computer-mediated communication, you need now to plan your communication, or you need to have a plan for you to have an effective communication. When we say communication planning, it is the art and science of reaching target audiences using communication channels. It is concerned with deciding who to target, when, with what message, and how. More simply defined, it is reaching the right audience with the right message at the right time. Thus, you need to set goal. When we say goal, we use it to make sure everybody gets the right message at the right time. It serves various purposes, such as to inform, to persuade, to prevent misunderstanding, and to present a point of view or reduce barriers. After setting your goal, you need to do the steps in communication planning. So in here, we have research and analyze current situation, establish goals and objectives, short and long term, identify the target audience, what they know, what influences them, communication impediments, etc. Conceptualize on key messages, strategize on communication styles and platforms, and evaluate and anticipate. If you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. And it doesn't mean na nag-fail yung plan A mo, hindi ka na magko-continue. Kaya, need natin na magkaroon ng plan A to Z. Plan A.1 hanggang plan A.100. After following the steps in communication planning, you are now ready to choose what media you are going to use. Modern technology did not only usher in new forms of language use in new media, but also paved the way in how communication takes place and how messages are presented. Part of communication planning is deciding on the platform in which the message will be presented. In some cases, the use of technology will do wonders for your presentation. Multimedia presentations often require the use of technology, and this, when used properly, will be aesthetically beneficial to you. They are visually oriented and allow multimodality and the use of such features as text, graphics, photos, audios, animations, and video. On this point, let me present to you a video about how technology was utilized in communication.
Back in a day, communicating with people was considered as a real problem. I mean long-distance communication. So it is a tendency of human to find solution of that problem, and thus social media started evolving. But not immediately that you might actually think. The evolvement of communication started before 540 BC when the interaction was done using piece of paper. It was primary method of communication at that time. But soon in 1792, telegraph was invented, which allowed message to get delivered faster than rider could do. Although telegraph messages were short, they were a revolutionary way to convey news and information, and it was really important at that time. Later in 1865, another method of message delivery was introduced which used underground pressurized tubes to carry message from one place to another. But the thing is, telephone in 1890 and radio in 1891 were discovered, that changed the total genre of message delivery. Even today, these technology are used and studied. But modern version are much more sophisticated than older one. After that in 20th century, technology began to change rapidly. And in 1940s, the first supercomputer were developed. But those computers were lacking in communication. And thus the idea of network was created. And in 1960s, first consumer online service was introduced as CompuServe. And by 1980s, home computer were becoming popular along with ideas of social networking service. 6degrees.com was the first recognized social network service created by American entrepreneur in 1997. But unfortunately it only lasted 2 years. After the invention of blogging, the popularity of social media began to grow rapidly. Sites like LinkedIn was noticed all over the internet in early 2000s. YouTube brought an entire new way for people to communicate and share with each other. And by 2013 Facebook, Instagram and Messenger were ranked as most popular social media all over the internet. And these days, there are more than 50 social networking sites with more than 50 million monthly active users. So it seems clear that it will be evolving as long as humans exist. So that's all for today. If you find these content helpful, make sure you support me by clicking that red button, and see you friend in next video.
Let's continue with the considerations in using technology as aid in communication. This is in general. So, 1. Keep it simple. Avoid including too much detail or information in a graphic or in one slide. The message should be immediate and clear. By keeping the visual material simple, you also maintain the maximum personal contact with your audience. 2. Emphasize only key ideas. When you call attention to ideas with graphic presentation, make sure the graphic clearly illustrates your essential points and the important supporting data. Number 3. Show what you can say. The best use of visual media is to reveal material you can easily describe orally or with written text. Graphics, photos, charts, and illustrations can accomplish this objective. 4. Keep the number of images you present manageable. Too many images will tire your audience, just like too much text. 8 to 10 images should be the maximum number for most presentations. Next, combine variety with coherence. If you use several images, vary the design to make it interesting, but keep them aesthetically consistent. Lastly, use large lettering. Use large text font sizes with minimal use of serifs so the audience can read the text easily. And that will be all for lecture 4. Thank you.